Good evening, folks. Deb Delapian here, and this is your short take. I want you all to know that I am trying to put together other videos. I've got one already in the hopper about, the great legislation that the GOP has passed since they came into power. But I can't seem to get off the dime because people keep pissing me off. So I find myself not just frustrated by the state of the nation, not just frustrated by the composition of the House, not just pissed off at the GOP, but I find myself incredibly pissed off at some Democratic Party voters. So let me tell you my story from today. Before I left for work, I posted an article about the state of West Virginia. Yeah, can you hear dueling banjos in the background? Because every time I say West Virginia, that's what comes into my head. The state of West Virginia, which passed a law banning transgender care. I posted this on Facebook before I went to work. I get to work and, lo and behold, there's like 8 comments on my Facebook icon. So I open it up. And one is from a Democrat who states, this is why, something to the effect of, this is why I get mad. The Democrats had better have a bill ready, or I'm not going to vote for them next cycle. Or something to that effect. I won't vote for them in 2024. I won't vote for them again, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Let me repeat myself. First of all, first and foremost, the most important message I can give all of you is we are on fascism's doorstep here. Failure to vote for the Democrats ensures that the GOP remains in power. And this problem, which is the problem I'm pointing out in the post, that these states will continue to pass these laws if they are kept in power. Do we understand that? That's a fundamental fact of life, okay? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. The second thing I want to point out to this person, and I'm sure there are plenty of other people out there with that thought process, it's not just her, okay? And I'm not mentioning any names, and I'm not getting into that. But, people who know this, who think this way, will know that I'm talking about them. There is already a bill. It's called the Equality Act. Never heard of that? That's because you don't pay attention or you don't keep yourself informed, okay? It has, by the way, passed the House of Representatives twice. It has failed to pass in the Senate, even when the Democrats have had the majority, for one reason. There's this thing called the filibuster. And until the Democrats have 60 votes in the Senate, the bill won't pass. Joe Biden told you this before the 2022 midterms. If you want Roe v. Wade back, you need to vote so that we have a majority of 60 in the Senate, so we can override the filibuster, because the GOP uses the filibuster like I use toilet paper to wipe my butt, okay? They will block everything using the filibuster. They have been blocking everything using the filibuster since Donald Trump got out of office. They have stymied Joe Biden at every turn. You have not been paying attention. It is your job to pay attention. And by the way, to the person who wrote that on my post, it is not just up to the politicians to make this happen. The people need to make this happen. What the hell is wrong with you? Joe Biden clearly told you in the run-up to the midterms what you needed to do. So now here's the pickle you're in. It doesn't matter that it passed the House twice, because that's over. You have now lost the House of Representatives by not voting. 52%, I'll say it again, 52% of registered Democrats voting in the midterms isn't good enough anymore, okay? Maybe you could skate in past years, but not with this particular brand of GOP in power. And whether you like it or not, there are fascists in our government. They are happy to oppress people. They are doing it daily. So now here's the pickle you're in. It doesn't matter if the bill is ready, and it is ready. Now it won't pass the House. Why? Because you gave up the House to the GOP. That's why. We gave up the House to the GOP. We allowed the GOP to take the House away. We have 52 senators in the Senate. And that is, if Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema vote for it. If they don't vote for it, then we have 49, or whatever it is. I'm sorry, 50. Okay. We have 50. Even if Kamala Harris is the tiebreaker, it doesn't matter because we need 60 votes to overcome a Republican Party filibuster, which they will use. And why is that? Because there are no more reasonable, rational Republicans left in the party. Okay? There is no Republican that will cross the aisle. They wouldn't cross the aisle to codify Roe v. Wade. They won't cross the aisle to give LGBTQ and trans people their civil rights. Do you understand what I'm saying, or am I speaking another language? I don't know how many times I have to say this. I'm sick of talking about this. This is something you should know. Let me say it again. This current House of Representatives, which we call hashtag House of Horrors, will not pass any equality bill relative to transgender or LGBT care. They will not. So that opportunity is gone. You had a Democratic Party House that passed it twice, but the Senate couldn't pass it because they couldn't overcome the filibuster. In 2024, we need to win the House back. In 2024, we need 60 Democratic senators. It can be done. There are states where we will never make any inroads. There are states we should never lose. Am I making myself clear, or am I talking Swahili here? Now, you can threaten to not vote, and let me tell you, you think that's teaching someone a lesson? You know what you're doing by not voting? You're hurting the very people you pretend to be caring about. That's what you're doing. I suggest you rethink that attitude. And instead of not voting, I suggest you commit to vote and you bring some people along with you. It is our responsibility to elect the right people to make the things we want to happen, happen. The right wing gets that. The left wing, not so much. And let me say something else today that I found out. If you think there's any hope of the Equality Act passing before 2024, I'd like to tell you what the House of Representatives did today. They passed a federal version of Ron DeSantis's Don't Say Gay law, a parental rights bill for the public education system. Read my lips. You heard me right. So any notion that you may have that we can pass an equality measure with the current composition of what we have in the House and the Senate is bull. It isn't going to happen. So you better get your voting shoes on, because there is absolutely nothing the Democrats can do to make that happen if you don't do your part. You have to vote so that these things can pass. You want Roe v. Wade codified? You got to have a 60 Senate majority. Do you understand what I'm saying here? You will be floundering and flailing and losing reproductive rights like the drop of a hat if you continue in this manner. And it won't stop there. So I'm suggesting you understand what I'm saying. If you have any questions at all, send me an email at factivist.project@gmail.com. In the YouTube version of these videos, I will put the articles in so that you will understand what is needed. You can go to the YouTube channel, okay? All you need to do is go to YouTube, type in Deb Della Piana. You'll get to the YouTube channel. I am now updating the website. Major update before the 2024 election. I will put all the links into everything that our group has so that you guys can find it easily. In the meantime, I'll talk to you tomorrow, and maybe we can get that other video in. Later.